Welcome student. When I was a child, when I was going to school, at the time my father was a role model for me. Okay? I wanted to behave like my father. I wanted to act like my father. I wanted to speak like my father. What about you? Is your father a role model for you? What qualities do you appreciate of your father? Pause the video and discuss the answer of these two questions with your siblings and friends. Today we are going to learn a beautiful poem, Walk a Little Slower. The poet of this poem is unknown. The poem is written by an anonymous poet. Anonymous poet means what? Unknown poet. The author of this poem is an unknown poet. We don't know the name of that poet. First of all, I am going to introduce a little bit. First of all, in this poem, the child is talking with his father. The father is a role model for the child, and the child is requesting his father to communicate with him, to express his thought with him, to express his feelings with him. Why? Because the child wants to be a successful person like his father. Second thing is that this poem is an example of metaphor. Now we have already learned the figure of speech metaphor. But what is metaphor? Metaphor is a figure of speech in which two person, two things are compared without using words like and as. We have learned it already. Okay, for example, okay, Shivam Bandekar is Bill Gates in 90 class. Means Shivam Bandekar and Bill Gates both have same quality, technology. Okay. Second example, Harshada Prabhu is a Vishwanath Anand. Means one same quality, champion in chess. So I compared two things with this quality, champion in chess. Okay. Time is money. Time and money both are important. Water is life. Mango is the king of fruits, or camel is a sheep of desert. Okay, so this comparison, that is called metaphor. In this poem there are various examples, there are many examples of figure of speech metaphor. We will discuss at that time. Okay, so let's start the poem. So let's start the poem. First of all, you also open your English textbook, page number 3. I am going to read the poem and you also read the poem silently. Walk a little slower. Walk a little slower, Daddy, said a little child so small. I am following in your footsteps. I don't want to fall. Now in this poem, a little child is requesting his father to walk little slower. Why? Because the child is following his father's footsteps and he don't want to fall. Look at the third line. The word footsteps. Look at the picture. Footstep means this. When you go on the beach, so we follow the footsteps of our father. Okay, but in this poem, footsteps is a metaphor. Means footsteps are compared with the same way of life of his father. The footsteps means the way of expressing how his father expresses thought, how his father used body language, how his father used gesture, how his father communicate. Okay, these are the way of life of his father. So footsteps means what? The same way of life. Okay, so footsteps are compared with the same way of life of his father. The child is requesting his father, walk a little slower. Now the word walk is not a literary act of walking. It is also one type of one metaphor. Walking means walk is a verb. You know that. In Marathi we say that kriya pad, action word. Okay, so that is one action of his father. Okay, walking, communicate, walk or behave, express. So the child is requesting his father to communicate slowly, to behave slowly, to express his thoughts slowly, to express his feeling slowly. Why? Because the child wants to imitate his father. Child wants to copy his father, to behave like his father. And why? The child wants to understand the actions of his father. And why to understand? Because the father is role model of the child. And now look at the last line. I don't want to fall. Now again, fall is a metaphor. The fall doesn't mean literally that lying on the floor, okay, or falling down on the floor. So fall means what? Fail or failure. Okay. So the child doesn't want to fail in his life. The child doesn't want failure in his life. Okay. And so that's why he wants to imitate his father. That's why he wants to understand the actions of his father, because he wants to be a successful person in his life. म्हणजे पहिल्या कडव्याचा अर्थ काय झाला बघा. त्या पहिल्या कडव्यामध्ये तो जो चाइल्ड आहे तो वडिलांना रिक्वेस्ट करतोय की वडिलांना सांगतोय की मी तुमच्या ज्या फुटस्टेप्स आहेत त्या मी फॉलो करतोय. फुटस्टेप म्हणजे काय? वे ऑफ लाईफ. म्हणजे तुम्ही तुमचं जसं वागणं आहे, तुम्ही जसं वागता ते मी फॉलो करतोय. तुम्ही कसं बोलता, तुम्ही कसं बॉडी लँग्वेजचा यूज करता, तुम्ही कसे एक्सप्रेस करता स्वतःचे थॉट्स, स्वतःचे फिलिंग, हे सगळं मी तुम्हाला फॉलो करतोय. ओके. आणि म्हणून तुम्ही हे थोडंसं स्लोली करा. हे तुमचे एक्सप्रेशन आहे, तुमचे जे थॉट्स तुम्ही एक्सप्रेस करता, हे तुमचे जे वे ऑफ लाईफ आहे, हे दैनंदिन जीवनातले जे ॲक्शन्स आहे तुमच्या, ह्या थोड्याशा स्लो करा. का? कारण की मी त्या फॉलो करतोय. मला त्या समजून घ्यायच्या आहेत. आय वॉन्ट टू अंडरस्टँड. मला ते समजून घ्यायचे आहेत. आणि मला ते समजून का घ्यायचे आहेत? कारण मला जीवनामध्ये फेल व्हायचं नाही आहे. मला तुमच्यासारखं यशस्वी व्हायचं आहे. आणि आता दुसरं स्टँजा मी वाचतो, तुम्ही पण वाचा. समटाइम्स युअर स्टेप्स आर व्हेरी फास्ट, समटाइम्स दे आर हार्ड टू सी, सो वॉक अ लिटिल स्लोअर डॅडी, फॉर यू आर लीडिंग मी. In the second stanza, the child says that your steps are very fast. Again the steps, footsteps, metaphor. Steps means what? Actions. Okay, so your actions are very fast. Fast means what? That I cannot observe your action. Okay, so your steps are very fast. So fast that I cannot observe you, how you behave like that. And in the second line, sometimes they are hard to see. Hard means difficult. They are difficult to see. See means what? Understand. They are difficult to understand. Okay? So sometimes your steps, your actions, I cannot observe them. And sometimes those steps, those actions are so difficult that I cannot understand how you speak, how you behave, how you act that particular word. Okay? And so the child is requesting his father, little slow, do that action little slow. And in the last line, fourth line, the child says that, for you are leading me, you are leading me. Lead means who lead the people? Leader. Okay, so the father is leader for that child. Father is the role model of that child. And so the child requests his father that walk a little slower. आता या दुसऱ्या सेंटेन्समध्ये काय सांगितलेलं आहे की तो चाइल्ड सांगतोय काय की तुमच्या ज्या कधी कधी ॲक्शन्स आहेत, ह्या ॲक्शन्स कधी कधी काय होतं की खूप फास्ट असतात, की मला समजत नाहीत. मी ऑब्झर्व करायच्या अगोदर तुम्ही दुसरे ॲक्शन करून गेलेले असतात, मला ते ऑब्झर्व करायला वेळच मिळत नाही. फास्ट केल्यामुळे तुम्ही तुमच्या ॲक्शन्स, तुमचे थॉट्स एक्सप्रेस करून जाता पटकन, मला ऑब्झर्व करायलाच मिळत नाही. दुसऱ्या लाईनमध्ये काय आहे, समटाईम्स दे आर हार्ड टू सी. म्हणजे कधी कधी तुमच्या ॲक्शन्स इतक्या डिफिकल्ट असतात की तुम्ही प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व्ह करण्याची पद्धत इतकी डिफिकल्ट असते की मी अंडरस्टँडच करू शकत नाही. सो डिफिकल्ट असं तो सांगतोय. आणि म्हणून तो सांगतोय, परत रिक्वेस्ट करतोय वडिलांना की वॉक अ लिटिल स्लोवर. हे जरा तुमचे जे ॲक्शन्स आहेत, तुमचे जे काही वे ऑफ लाईफ आहे ते सगळं जरा स्लो करा. का? कारण यू आर लिडिंग मी. कारण तुम्ही माझे लीडर आहात, तुम्ही माझे रोल मॉडेल आहात, तुम्ही मला लीड करता आहात. ओके, मी तुमचं इमिटेट करतोय, अनुकरण करतो आहे, असं त्याला सांगायचं आहे. आणि आता तिसरं स्टँजा मी वाचतो. सम डे वेन आय एम ऑल ग्रोन अप, यू आर वॉट आय वॉन्ट टू बी, देन आय विल हॅव अ लिटिल चाइल्ड who will want to follow me. In the third stanza, the child is expressing his wish. He has a wish that when he would be a grown-up person, an adult person, at that time he would be exactly like his father. Okay, means successful person. His father is successful person, so he would be a successful person like his father. This is the first wish. And second wish, he expresses that when he would be a grown up person or adult person, so at that time he would have a little child. So that grown up person would be a father. Okay, and he would have a little child, and that child would follow him. Okay, because both his grandfather and father would be a successful person. So what is the meaning of this stanza? In this stanza the child express, या स्टँजा मध्ये जो चाइल्ड आहे, लहान मूल आहे, ते आपली एक इच्छा व्यक्त करत आहे. काय इच्छा व्यक्त करत आहे की जेव्हा मी मोठा होईल, म्हणजे जेव्हा तो लहान मूल मोठा होईल तेव्हा त्याला आपल्या वडिलांसारखंच बनायचं आहे. ओके, सक्सेसफुल बनायचं आहे, वडिलांसारखं सक्सेसफुल बनायचं त्यांच्यासारखंच. ओके, आणि दुसरी इच्छा काय तो करतोय की जेव्हा मी मोठा होईल आणि जेव्हा मला एक चाइल्ड होईल, मला जेव्हा एक मूल होईल, तर ते मूलसुद्धा मला फॉलो करेल. ओके, म्हणजे त्याला फॉलो करेल, कारण का तो सुद्धा सक्सेसफुल बनेल त्याच्या वडिलांसारखा. ओके, आणि आता शेवटचं स्टँजा मी वाचतो. अँड आय वूड वॉन्ट टू लीड जस्ट राईट and know that I was true. So walk a little slower, Daddy, for I must follow you. Okay, so in this stanza, this stanza shows the confidence of the child. The child is so confident. The child says that I would want to lead just right. Means when he would have a child, okay, so he would lead his child correctly. He would guide the child perfectly. Okay, he has a confidence. Yes, when I would have my child, so I would lead him, I would lead her, I would guide her or him perfectly, correctly, okay, rightly. So he has a confidence, and so he is requesting his father that you are a successful father, I would be a successful father, my child would be a successful in his life or in her life. Okay, so that I want to follow you, I want to follow your actions. Okay, I want to imitate you, and that's why you walk slowly or you behave slowly. Your action must, you do your action little slowly because I am imitating you. I am understanding your action. ओके, तर ह्याचा अर्थ काय आहे या वाक्याचा की तो चाइल्ड काय सांगतोय की जेव्हा माझा जो मूल होईल तर तो त्या मुलाचं सुद्धा काय करणार आहे, तो आय वुड वॉन्ट टू लीड जस्ट राईट. जसं तुम्ही मला लीड करताय तसंच सेम मी त्याला लीड करणार आहे. आणि तुम्ही जसं सक्सेसफुल झालात, मी जसं सक्सेसफुल होणार तसं त्यालाही मी सक्सेसफुल मला बनवायचं आहे. आणि मला माहिती आहे की जर मी तुम्हाला लीड केलं, जर मी तुमचं ऑब्झर्वेशन केलं आणि तुम्हाला फॉलो केलं, तर मी माझ्या मुलाला जसं मार्गदर्शन करणार आहे, जसं लीड करणार आहे, हे सुद्धा एकदम परफेक्टली बरोबरच करणार आहे. ओके, आणि म्हणून तो परत एकदा रिक्वेस्ट करतो की आय मस्ट फॉलो यू, मला तुम्हाला फॉलो केलंच पाहिजे. ओके, कारण तुमच्यासारखंच मला बनायचं आहे, माझ्या मुलाला बनवायचं आहे, म्हणून मला तुम्हाला फॉलो केलंच पाहिजे. आणि त्याच्यासाठी तुम्ही तुमच्या ज्या ॲक्शन्स आहेत त्या थोडंसं स्लो करा, की जेणेकरून मला त्या समजतील. नाव वी आर गोइंग टू डू इंग्लिश वर्कशॉप. लुक ॲट द फर्स्ट वर्कशॉप, रीड द पोएम अलाउड. Second workshop, put the words given in bracket in the proper blank. Okay, now here are some sentences are given, options also given, so pause the video and choose the correct options. Okay, now I tell you the answer. The child is talking to its father. Second, the father is leading and the child is following. Third, someday the child will become a father. And last, the child does not wish to fall while following its father. Okay, next activity, second activity is find and write pairs of rhyming words. So look at these stanzas. 4 stanzas are there. Pause the video and find out the rhyming words. Okay, so in the first stanza the rhyming word is small fall. In the second stanza, the rhyming word is see me. In the third stanza, the rhyming word is be me. And in the last stanza, the rhyming word is true you. Very good. Now next activity, third activity is that the meaning of the word in the following pair show that they are related word. Okay, related word, we know that related word. For example, school. What are the related word with school? School, teachers, students, classroom, benches, ground, then garden, okay, knowledge, happiness, love, friendship, punishment. These words also are related word, you know this. So here are teacher, doctor and give. So write one related word. Write down, pause the video and write down. Okay, now I tell you the one related: teacher, students, doctor, patients, give, take, pain, medicine, money, anything. Now the next activity is 4, implied meaning. What is implied in the following lines? What are the meaning? Now we have already learned the poem, you know the better meaning. So the first line is, sometimes your steps are fast. Now you know that steps is the metaphor. Steps means what? Action. So first of all, you find out the meaning. Okay, pause the video, you find out the meaning and then I will tell you. Okay, so now the first sentence, sometimes your steps are fast. Steps means it's a metaphor. Steps means what? Actions. Your actions are fast. Your steps are fast means what? Sometimes your actions are fast that child cannot observe them properly, cannot understand them properly. Okay, cannot imitate them properly. Second sentence, sometimes your steps are hard to see. Hard, difficult. Okay, so what is the meaning of that? The child says that your steps means your actions are so difficult to understand, so difficult that the child cannot understand. Okay, this is the meaning. And third sentence, I would want to lead just right. Lead means lead karne, you know that, lead. So the child says that when he would be a grown up person and when he would have a child, so at that time he would lead his child like his father. Okay, that is called lead. And rightly, correctly, perfectly also. And last sentence is that, and know that I was true, means when he would have a child, a baby child, at that time he would guide that child, he would advise that child, okay, or he would lead that child, so that guidance, that leadership would be perfectly correct, okay, would be right, or would be that opinion, that suggestion, that advices would be right or perfect. Okay, so it's okay. Thank you very much.